Hello, my name is Rebecca Judd, and today I will be talking about the need for personal finance education at the high school level. Take a moment and imagine a time when you were a high school student yourself. You're sitting in a classroom, listening to a teacher ramble on about a topic you may not have an interest in, and the question may pop into your head, or maybe someone actually says it out loud. What value does this have for me? Why am I wasting my time learning this? Or, most commonly, when will I use this in the real world? When I was in high school, these were questions I had. When it came to education, I didn't mind learning, but there were still so many topics that I felt I needed to know more about. Topics I would rather be learning, and one of them was personal finance. Personal finance education is incredibly necessary to help benefit the financial futures of all people around us. As a freshman in high school, I was lucky enough to find myself in a personal finance class. It was one semester long, unlike almost every other class I took, with a teacher who turned on a video program, and it was clear he didn't have very many answers to the questions I wanted to ask. Yet this was the only chance I had in my high school career to learn how to manage my money for the future, and this was more than most of the student body received. Now, this is one story from one school, yet the effects of similar stories can be seen in the world around us. Every day, there are people who make financial decisions without confidence. They do not know if they are doing the right thing, and this could lead to many financial struggles down the road. Now, there are many factors that can go into personal finance, and it does make you wonder if personal finance education can help. I'm not saying additional classes will immediately fix the financial situation of the world today, but it does not seem like it would hurt. As unfortunate as it may be, money is a huge part of everyday life, yet it seems to get swept under the rug to make space for other topics. Why is this, and how can it be changed? Now, I would like to preface this by saying that there are many layers when it comes to the financial environment of the world today. Personal finance is complicated. There are many complications when it comes to finances, and this is not something to be ignored. Personal finance education will not be able to fix every financial issue that exists. However, there are many things that it can benefit. Personal finance skills are used every single day, whether it be deciding to go out to eat or to cook at home, creating a budget, or deciding if that next big purchase is really worth it. All of these situations require financial knowledge that is not being given. Now, it would be foolish to not recognize the steps that are being made in the right direction. Over the past few years, we have gone from 8 states in the U.S. requiring personal finance courses to 25. And now, according to the Council for Economic Education, currently 35 U.S. states require a personal finance credit to be able to graduate high school. This is a major improvement, but it still may not be enough. There are still plenty of adults who missed these classes, as well as students who are not fortunate enough to be able to have taken these courses. Also, some of these requirements are being fulfilled by just slightly changing the curriculum of a social studies or math class. This is good and better than nothing, but for the weight finance has on the world, there needs to be more. So how does this affect people? One way is through financial difficulties. This lack of education has led people to make unrecommended financial decisions. This is not unexpected because they have never been taught differently. From the personal finance class I was able to take, they pushed the idea that it was important to start thinking of your financial future early in life, which just got me thinking how this was an opportunity many people would never have. There are many financial difficulties that arise because of this lack of education. There are, of course, many financial factors that are affected by this, but it expands to so much more. Personal finance can cause a great deal of stress on individuals. Mental health is becoming increasingly more important in the world today, and this is not a step that is being recognized to help alleviate this. Our emotions play a major role in how we approach finances. Many personal finance skills revolve around the idea of the future. What do we expect the future to look like? Based on this, we tend to rely on our emotions, but this also leads to problems when the main emotion we feel towards finance is anxiety. Financial anxiety affects many young people in the world today, and the addition of personal finance classes can help with this. By focusing on the quantity and the quality of personal finance courses, individuals can become more familiar with the financial world, and it can become less fear-inducing. By increasing financial capability, financial anxiety can be reduced. So by adding personal finance courses, not only is the financial world being improved, but so is the emotional world. So with all of this, why are these classes not being taught? With these reasons, many will agree that personal finance is important. So why is it not given the attention it deserves? This can be broken down into many reasons, some of which fit into a cycle. Students do not receive the personal finance education they need. They do not learn necessary personal finance skills, and they are unable to teach the next generation, whether it be their own children or, for educators, their students. The cycle continues on and it needs to be broken, but there are struggles to start now. In a study by the National Endowment for Financial Education, they surveyed teachers about their ability to teach personal finance relating to these 6 topics: income and careers, planning and money management, credit and debt, financial responsibility and decision-making, saving and investing, and risk management and insurance. They reported that less than 20% of teachers feel very competent to teach any of these 6 personal finance topics. We have come to a point in this generation when the educators who are now being told to teach their students about these topics do not feel they understand them themselves. This leads to a lack of confidence in these education programs. People do not want to fund or rely on personal finance education that is being taught by someone who does not have the necessary knowledge themselves. So where does that leave us? How do we break this cycle that we're stuck in? As much as I would like to start with the students, we have to start with the teachers. A potential solution can be found through adult financial education. Adult financial education is another very valuable topic that needs to be considered. If we are able to provide adults with thorough personal finance classes, then they will be able to educate their students or children and create a more financially healthy world. There is a misconception that once a person reaches a certain age, it is not worth it to teach them personal finance skills. This is just not true. Yes, there can be benefits to starting earlier, but there is still something to be said about receiving any form of financial education at any time in a person's life. An experiment was conducted in Italy by the American Council on Consumer Interests to find the educational benefits of their personal finance course for adults. This was an online synchronous course that was 10 hours long, divided into 5 modules, each lasting 2 hours. With comparison of results of pre- and post-tests, it was found that there was an increase in financial knowledge of 25%. This is a significant increase, and it was done with only 10 hours of courses. If we can implement even this much time, we are already making forward progress. And it can be assumed that to a certain degree, as the amount of time increases, so will the knowledge gained. This was a basic course, but there is even more to be said if this information was customized to individuals. Elizabeth Tisdale says, "Financial education happens in many different contexts. Sometimes educators think only about educating individuals rather than people embedded in families and communities. Multiple contexts need to be considered when working with financial education. And taking the time to understand the variety of financial situations will only help with education overall. If we can teach adults and do so in a way that applies to their personal situations, it can open the doors for future generations. Parents can have the answers for their children, teachers can have the answers for their students, and soon a new cycle will be developed. One where instead of having the same question over and over, we have a sense of shared knowledge. We can make this new cycle, but steps need to continue to be taken to create a more financially healthy world. Personal finance education may not fix everything, but it is a step in the right direction. If we can begin to share this knowledge, it can cause a domino effect that can benefit the world for generations to come. But we need to start now. We cannot keep waiting until so very few have any financial knowledge. We need to make this new cycle so that someday, somewhere, there can be a student sitting in a classroom listening to a teacher talk. Now, they still may not have any interest in the topic, but at least they will never have to ask the question, when will I use this in the real world? Thank you.